Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another DTF Superstore live stream. I'm realizing how much that lighting in my office does for this on camera. I tell you what. So I'm over in our showroom, as a lot of you guys figured out probably from some of the posts, and then we did release a video this morning. We've got the Roland TY300, an all-new DTF printer. We've had it since November, early part of November, and we've been testing it. Working with Roland hand in hand, trying to fine tune some stuff, find the parts that may, or the like, there's little things like maintenances that it performs that I was like, I'd like it to say something different or do something different. So we've been working with Roland, trying to help dial this thing in. But yeah, we're so excited we finally can talk about it. We can finally sell it. It is available right now. Matuba, thanks for joining on the live stream again. Appreciate it. Ethan, what's happening? Yeah, so really excited to finally share it. It is in stock. Roland has plenty in stock. They've got plenty of ink available, so we're not going to run into an issue where like, oh no, we sold a bunch of machines and we have no ink. We got that covered. And if you watched the video we posted earlier, BMAC, is providing the dryer shaker for all Roland DGA dealers and customers. So if you go to a Roland dealer, the Roland dealer is going to have the opportunity to sell the BMAC Super Shaker. So we're pretty excited because we've been working hand in hand with BMAC to launch this. So getting it working hand in hand with Roland is insanely exciting. So if you guys have questions about the machine, I'm going to cover it relatively in depth, not crazy. We're going to release a few videos that go more in depth on some stuff. But if you guys have questions, please put them in the chat. Let me know. We'll cover any and all questions you guys have, and I will print on it because I know that that's always something you guys want to see. So if you're wondering what it was just doing, it does have a feature to feed out at the same rate that you were printing. So at the end of your day, if you want to just let it run itself through, you don't have to manage the printer to feed it through the dryer shaker to end your day. Now, obviously, if you're using a liter sheet or something like that, you would stop that, but that's what that was doing. So let's start by showing you guys it printing, and then I will I'll talk about it while it's printing. So first, let's hop over to VersaWorks, and yes, let me change my camera position. My apologies. There we go. Yes, this works with VersaWorks. So if you are a Roland dealer or a Roland customer, you've been using Roland for forever, this is going to feel very, very familiar. Now, we don't have the drivers quite dialed in yet for Digital Factory, but we are working on those. So we will have those available. I'll move this out of the way. So this is VersaWorks, going to be familiar for anybody that's used Roland for any amount of time. And then we've already done it. So let's just go ahead and print. I don't know if it's going to rip. It might rip, so it might take a second to load it up because it's kind of a bigger file. Nope, it saved all the rip stuff. Let's see. California DTF, what's happening? Thanks for being on the live stream today. You know, I loved a lot of the comments that people were throwing at me when I posted the very coy response of like, ooh, we have something special. A lot of folks, I'm sure, thought it was just another Chinese brand manufactured machine branded. And this is not. This is Roland, and it's so exciting. I have said from the first time I did a boot camp is that when the larger manufacturers join the fray and start producing DTF printers, it will start to see the industry stabilize and standardize a little bit. So this is another big step. Obviously, the first big manufacturer was Mamaki to come out. Roland took their time, and I think they've done a really great job. Matuba, you've mentioned the cartridges. Not a fan of cartridges. Totally understand why some folks aren't a fan of the cartridges. I'm going to tell you why I think they're not that big of a deal or that big of an issue. One of the things with the cartridge-based systems is that you can you have a lot more control over air that gets into the system. I know we recently had a customer that had a printer that was losing its yellow ink, and it was because there's air in the lines. So that's definitely a common issue with DTF is air getting into the system. If sound changes a little bit, by the way, if it's like super crazy noisy, let me know. I do need to turn on my shaker. There we go. And I'm going to move around to get the camera a little better position for you guys. So anyway, the cartridges, first of all, you get no air. It's like kind of degassed ink. So you're not going to get all that extra air in the system. Also, you don't get any contaminants. It's a little more controlled. And yeah, so the costs are, I apologize for that shaky shake. The costs are a little bit higher for the ink. I believe it's $85 for the colors and $81 or $80, something like that for the white. I'll double check on our site in just a minute when we pop on there. But one of the things that Roland really made sure to do is they wanted to make sure that there wasn't a lot of ink waste. Some of the other competitors that are using cartridge-based systems do waste a fair amount of ink doing maintenances and things of that nature. So one of the things Roland did is they got all the competitors' machines and they tested it to make sure that their printer was using substantially less or wasting less ink than any of the competitors. So that is a huge, huge thing. Brandon, because I'm an equal opportunity person, yes, you're right. Muto has worked with STS to make that printer. So you're right. There are 3 of those companies. One of the reasons I kind of default to Roland being a big deal is because they've been in the wide format game a long time. And they have a lot of very, very passionate fans for sure. Hayden. So y'all know I'm an open book around here. So Hayden, are you saying we're trying to get rid of the Mamakis, or you saying something else? Clarify for me, please, and I'll explain. I'll explain our experience. We're still carrying the Mamakis. I think Mamaki was a good machine. I think Roland has addressed some of the concerns that came from some of the Mamakis, but give me some clarification, Hayden. I will happily answer those questions. Let's see. So it's 2 print heads. It's a CMYK and a white print head. What the print head is, it's a modified Epson that Roland's not, they're being kind of coy about what it is. But it's going to be similar resolutions to an i3200. Yeah, so they have done some modifications to the print head. So it's not just a default Epson type print head. But yeah, that's what they're using in there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, print speeds, because everybody cares about the print speeds, right? So in production mode, which is what I'm running right now, you're going to get about 115 10x10 graphics per hour. Frank, I need you not coming on a live stream and stirring the pot. Come on, bro. Frank, will I see you at Impressions? We are not going to have a booth at Impressions, but I will be there. I'm teaching a class. I'm teaching a class on Thursday at 1 p.m. Anyway, 115 10x10 graphics per hour. And then in the high quality mode, it's about half of that. So 55-ish, depending on some of your settings. We don't have the driver dialed in for Digital Factory yet. So those are the print speeds in VersaWorks. All right, let's see. Here we go. We got some questions coming in, so let me get them. All right. How much does the ink cost? So ink cost, like I mentioned earlier, I think it's $85 for the color. Let's hop over onto the our DTF Superstore website. Let's go there. And so this is the printer with the BMAX Super Shaker. I'm going to get into more of that in a minute. Let's go. Roland Ink. Oh, there we go. So 89 for the 89 for the cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and 85 for the white. And those are 500 milliliters. Again, yes, we recognize that cost is higher than what we're used to or accustomed to, but you are going to get better. With VersaWorks, they're profiling that ink with some of our different films. So what are the film costs? Well, you can use really kind of any DTF film. We have been testing with our V2 and our Quick Peel. Roland is also at their facility in California. They are profiling some of our films as well. So VersaWorks will have built-in profiles soon for multiple versions of our film. And then, of course, with Digital Factory, we will profile that with our films. You can use Roland film. That's what they initially tested on. But we kind of, from the get-go, had determined we were gonna test with our films. So I will show you how it looks after curing momentarily. If you do want to see, I have a video I posted over on a YouTube channel just this morning about it. So, so if you go on there, you can see. So here's the funny thing. I used to only do square feet per hour, and everybody complained because they wanted 10 by 10. So actually a lot of people do calculate in 10 by 10. But if you want the approximate square foot per hour, I want to say it was like in the 85 to 90 square foot per hour range, which for a 2-head printer, that's pretty good. So yeah, so a lot of people actually really prefer the calculations as 10 by 10s. So, and then the milliliters are all 500 milliliter cartridges. So again, Aaron, any kind of film, so it's all good. Like I said, the ink costs are higher than maybe we're accustomed to with some of the bulk ink systems, but you're going to get better consistency and results using VersaWorks and using Digital Factory, because both these rips are profiled with the Roland ink and with our film and Roland's film. So answered that. Let's see. You do still have to shake the cartridge. Just because there is a separation of the pigment in the white ink, you will have to shake the cartridge. The screen, it's really cute. It says the time for ink stirring has occurred, or time for ink shaking has arrived, or something like that on the screen. So it's kind of fun. So Travis, I'm not sure what you mean by that manufacturers on V17, because V2 is simply a term we use in-house. So I'm not sure who, like the V17, that is, again, one of the things that has always been a little confusing for the DTF industry is that everybody just kind of sticks their own name on stuff. So what is our V2 film could be carried other places. We just don't know because nobody calls it the same thing. So that's kind of the way the industry has worked and probably is going to work until there's a little more stabilization. But yeah. So I'm not aware of that manufacturer. I know that the V2 is just simply a term we use in-house for a new film that we started carrying. So, and I hate to break it to you, when we make up our names, we try to just do our best to make it as little confusing as possible, but sometimes we do. It is a little confusing. So, all right, let's see. Let me get another print run going, because you guys do want to see the finished stuff after it comes off. So let me get that started on printing. And then, again, I mentioned this is the BMAC Super Shaker, and you'll notice it's a lovely blue color. I'm actually going to switch cameras and let you guys take a look at that. Feel free to ask more questions, and I'll get to them in just a second. So this is the BMAC Super Shaker, everyone. And BMAC has partnered up with Roland to offer this American-made shaker, dryer shaker, for all of their Roland DGA dealers. So BMAC is a major partner of ours. We helped develop this thing, so we're especially excited that Roland decided to partner with BMAC on this. So the entire package Printer is retailing, I think, for $19,995. The full package printer and BMAC dryer shaker we've got on sale for $29,995, if I remember correctly. Yes, $29,995, and that is deliver or with installation and training, and a 1-year warranty on that. So. Let's see here. Yeah, EcoFrame current version is V17. Yeah, so that's a specific brand. Again, people will make up their own names and delineations and stuff like that. So obviously, we're always on the pursuit for a better quality or a great quality, consistent film. So we're always pursuing trying to find something that's going to be great quality and consistent because everybody sees inconsistencies with the film. We're not the only ones. We've talked with STS before, and they have some film consistency issues. Everybody's got it. It's just it is an industry issue that we deal with, and we are constantly on the lookout for better options that are more consistent. But as anybody who's a DTF Superstore customer knows, we stand behind our stuff, and that's one of the reasons why we really like that we're carrying the Roland. When we're carrying any of the Chinese manufactured machines, their warranties are very sparse. So the warranty that you're getting is something that we're offering as a company to stand behind the products we're offering. So when we get an opportunity to work with a company like Roland that is going to stand behind the product, so they're standing behind the product, so we don't have to backstop it, it's a huge opportunity for us to make sure that our customers stay up and running, and we can continue to help as many people make money doing DTF as possible. So, all right. I mentioned shaking the cartridge. Yes, it does have wide ink circulation. It's all automated. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. It's all automated. The startup procedure on this is a little bit different, especially if it's been left for a while. They've got actually a little setup here for manually cleaning the underside of the print head. So normally when you go to clean, you're using a swab and stuff like that. They've got this little setup that a cloth goes into, and it makes it real easy to clean safely the bottom side of the print head. The startup procedure is maybe, as people are asking about Mimaki and stuff like that, it's maybe not as quick as the Mimaki, but one of the reasons the Mimaki is so quick on its startup is because it's doing constant like cleanings and flushes, and so it's using up a decent amount of ink overnight and stuff like that. So the startup procedure takes just a couple minutes, and then you're up and running. I did it this morning, got a perfect nozzle check. And if you're wondering what happens when you ignore the manufacturer's recommendation for care, I'll tell you, because I ignored it. I told the crew at Roland when they got us this prototype. Hold on one second. So when Roland came out and gave us, let us take this prototype. So this is a pre-production version. I told them, because they were explaining the whole startup and the maintenance and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I'm going to mistreat this thing. I purposely am going to not treat it like I'm supposed to, because I want to see what happens when a customer, maybe something happens and they aren't able to take care of it, or they forget about it or something like that. You guys run businesses and it gets busy sometimes. So I actually ignored this. I didn't mean to ignore it as long as I did, but I ignored it over Christmas. It was like 2.5 weeks. It took a little more convincing in the morning when I first started it up, but I'm getting perfect nozzle checks on all the channels, white, CMYK, everything. It looked fantastic this morning. Correct. The circulation is not in the cartridge. That's for the printer, but I think it was more just recognizing that there's settling. So when they're settling, you got to have some kind of recirculation. You know, that I'm not sure of right now. I'll have to get back to you on that. If you want to shoot me an email, Jeremy DTF Superstore, I will find out. I don't know what the cost of replacement printhead is, because like I said, it is Roland has done some some specialization to that print head. So it's not just a standard print head. So, but my guess is, whoops, sorry guys. My estimation is that the longevity is going to be pretty good on it because they are they're controlling a lot more of the variables. I know a lot of the Chinese-based DTF printers, you would maybe get only 6 months out of a print head, like the i3200s. However, since we started working with DuPont for those bulk ink systems, they warranty it for 2 years. It's a prorated warranty, but they warranty it for 2 years. So I think really a lot of the problem early on with print heads was poor quality ink. So, all right, let me jump back to this other camera, and I think I got some stuff coming off. Yeah, there we go. Let me move this a little bit. Sorry for the shaky. Got it coming off the printer. And they're wrapping up there. I'll see if a little later, once this print is done, maybe I'll cut one off and take a look at it for you guys. That is a great question. So how's the ICC profiled if I'm not using Digital Factory? So Roland is ICC profiling it. That's what they're doing. If you go into VersaWorks, you will see different ICC profiles available. Actually, let's hop over there and I'll show you that right now. All right, let's see. So, Imperial White Rabbit. Let's have a conversation. Shoot me an email. You've got some very, very strong opinions, and I'd love to go in depth and find out kind of where you're at. It's probably not the best forum for it, but anyway, let's go in here and check our settings. So in VersaWorks, and FYI, I mean, Roland on all of their products has an ICC profile. Like there has to be an ICC profile built for it. But that's one of the reasons why Roland is taking some of our film to do some testing. They're also trying to set up some of that stuff, those ICC profiles. So ICC profile is not just a Digital Factory thing. It is all over the place. And actually, I find that ICC profile creation is far better in some other softwares. But let's see. I think it's the color management. And nope, wrong one. There we go. So in the properties of the color management, see we've got a couple ICCs there. So all that stuff is developed by Roland. Again, another big reason we're excited to be working with Roland, because they do a good job of prepping their stuff so it works. Anybody who's a Roland user and has been for a while is going to know that a lot of their stuff just works really, really well. Kevin, one of our install techs, is and has been a Roland technician for a very long time, and he's very excited. He was saying it looked very familiar. So let's see. So and also White Rabbit, I'm going to bring this comment back up. People are so behind in DTF, it's almost funny. So I think that there is so much to learn and so much, because like ICC, sometimes I learn new stuff like every day when I'm dealing with ICC profiles. So there is so much to learn. And when you're trying to run a business, you become a generalist. So that's one of the reasons why at DTF Superstore, we are so passionate about our education and our training, is because we know that there are going to be gaps. Just because as a print shop owner, you have so many things to worry about, so many things to juggle. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for you guys to run your businesses. So that's why we offer the training that we do. We're working on some new stuff. We're going to be working on, we've been talking about for a while, but it's actually happening, an online version of the boot camp that's on demand, meaning you can sign up for the boot camp, take it at your leisure, and then go back constantly to review the information. So we are constantly working on trying to help the industry understand more. And again, it's just purely a situation of y'all have so much on your plate as business owners. Let us do the testing. Let us figure out what doesn't work right and figure out what works right. and then pass it along to you guys so you guys can just print stuff and make shirts and make money, because that's what you guys are in the business of doing. And the more you're doing that, the more you're buying ink and film from us, and we all win. So that's what we're about here, is helping you guys understand it better. So let's see. Yeah, so Hayden, I know people that have had them last for a year plus using the older inks and stuff like that. So yeah, the i3200, which is a similar type of printhead, I believe. But California DTF, I agree. Let's see. Hey, does Roland got a knife to cut? It sure does have a knife to cut. Let's see. Let me see if I can zoom in with the other camera. Give me 1 second, and I'll show you guys. There we go. So it does have a cutter. And let me switch cameras so you can see that screen. There it is. Here's our lovely touch screen with all of your options for cleanings, media management, all that kind of stuff. It's wonderful. I tell you what. But let's go back here, and we're going to go to sheet cutting. Now, it does have a perforated option. Roland has said that they have tested it running through a dryer shaker with that perf cut, and it doesn't separate. We haven't done that yet, but it is a potential option. All right, let's go back, and then we're just going to hit sheet cut, execute. Let me see if I can quickly get the other camera. There we go. There we go. Takes just a moment while it's doing that, I think. Oh, did it already cut it? It already cut it. I just wasn't thinking it had, so it was sitting there. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to stop my dryer shaker so it doesn't make a mess. I had a magnet. My magnet is gone. All right, shutting that down. All right, let's pop back over here. We got more questions, and then I will cut those transfers off the end so we can take a look at it. I don't have a heat press up and running in here because I was mostly trying to focus on the printer. But again, if you want to see a video of the finished pressed graphics, not just on the film, that is on the YouTube video that we released this morning. So let's see. Let me see what other questions we got. Correct. It's not going to be able to contour cut before it enters the shaker. That's not possible, but it will do a slice across. It's kind of like the Mamaki cutter. It's like, it's kind of nice that it's there, but not necessarily. Now, I think the perf cut, we haven't tested the perf cut in depth, but if the perf cut works, that would make it nice to like see the end of a gang sheet if you're selling gang sheets and popping it off that way. So, okay, a bunch of questions about the knife. So yes. Hey, Handmade Highland, how are you? It's probably late in the evening over there, and I think you're in Scotland, right? Let's see. I didn't even ask where everybody's watching from. Let's see. So what I mean is, it's just not a plug and play. Like it's not a DX7 or an i3200 or a Ricoh or something like that. It's not just a default printhead. It's something that Roland has modified slightly for the way that they wanted this machine to run, is my understanding. So, whoops, let's see. Two head, one CMYK, one white. All right, let's see. Let me make sure I'm getting all these questions. Feel free to keep asking questions. You guys got them. Yep. I actually took the shirts home that I pressed yesterday for the video that you guys saw on YouTube. And they are going to be running through my washer this week with all the family loads. FYI, if you've ever wondered how I do wash tests, I don't just stick them in a washer at once and call it a day. I literally bring them home and I wash them. I just keep putting them back in the wash. So when I pull them out of the dryer, I throw them back in a hamper that's in the laundry room, and the fam knows, just keep tossing them in there, and we wash them usually 20 plus times, because really that is that's going to be your best test of that, right? I mean, obviously the best test is actually wearing it, but yeah. So in VersaWorks, you increase the white ink per job. So there are white ink settings in VersaWorks. There's a couple different ways you can do it. These printers are coming with a pared down version of Flexi to create the white underbase layer, because VersaWorks, if you've ever worked with a VersaWorks before, it needs some special functions to create that white underbase and create white text. So when I first did it, it printed everything with white underbase, but no white text. And then when I did the white spot color, which is like going into Illustrator and using the RDG underscore white, it printed white on there, but not behind everything else. So I did have to create a white underbase, but again, these are coming with a kind of a baseline version or a very pared down version of Flexi to allow that to happen. Again, that's why we are wanting to partner up with or get the drivers for Digital Factory, because we still think the Digital Factory is a little bit better for that white underbase creation. However, if you are a Roland shop and all you know is Roland and VersaWorks, you're going to go into this and it's going to feel like home. Like, that's really what it's going to do. It's going to feel like home. But if you're a Roland shop and you've never done DTF before, please reach out to us, because it is such a different experience than printing vinyl or UV or anything like that. So, no, we still carry the Mamaki. We still support our Mamaki customers for sure. We are DTF Superstore after all, and we want to offer the best printers that are out there and as many options for you guys, because if we only offered this, it would alienate a lot of folks. If we only offered the Chinese manufactured stuff like our Bobcat and some of those new things, there's different strokes for different folks, right? So every shop, every user is going to have a different need, use case, and we just want to make sure that we cover as many bases, because we want to help more people find success in this garment decorating with DTF. So we are going to carry the Roland, the Mamaki, the Bobcat that we've got. We've got a couple other ones that I'm testing right now. One that's kind of fun with like a whole built-in thing. Yeah, we'll get into it later. Obviously, I'll have videos on it when it comes out. But so, Cecily, this one is the Mamaki 150 is like 30 square feet an hour, and I think this is like 85-ish. I was calculating it 10 by 10 graphics because everybody bugged me about not giving 10 by 10 graphics. And then the first time I give it here, somebody asked me why I'm giving 10 by 10. So it's doing about 85, 90 square feet an hour. So it is going to be faster than the two-head Mamaki, but a little bit slower than some of the two-head Chinese machines, Chinese manufactured machines. So it is absolutely a party today. I don't think I've ever had this many people on the live stream. So do me a favor, y'all, because it is a busy one. Put in the chat, wherever you're watching from, what state, city, country are you in? Because it's one of my favorite things to see where folks are at, because we get people from literally all over the world watching this live stream. I know Handmade Highlands, I believe, is in Scotland or the UK. But all right. No, this is not the Roland I really meant to print on the shirt, and then I just ran out of time because, as you know, I'm in my showroom. I'm in the showroom, not my office. It took me forever to set up this gear, and I was super stressing. All right, let's see. File format, great question. So this VersaWorks does not take PNGs. You got to use PDFs or EPS, I think. But yeah, so that's VersaWorks, and that's pretty standard for VersaWorks. Everybody that uses VersaWorks knows that. So, but when we get the drivers for Digital Factory, it'll be the same as every other Digital Factory thing. So PDFs, PNGs, all that kind of stuff. You know, Travis, that's a great question. If anybody from Epson's watching the live stream, give us a holler. We'd love to chat with you. I found it interesting that at Printing United, they did not have that thing running. They didn't have a price on it. I think they felt the need to get something out there. But I do appreciate some of these bigger guys, the bigger players are kind of waiting a little bit before they go crazy and release. All right, we got Bahrain in the house. We got Germany. Guten Tag, right? Right now, is that what it is? I think that's what it is. I'm going to feel like an idiot if I Guten Morgen's morning, so I think Guten Tag is afternoon. Guten Nacht would be good night, but I think that feels weird saying that. But anyway, how's it compared to the Prestige? Print speeds a little slower than the Prestige, but wider print area. And even the Prestige R2 Pro is still a Chinese manufactured machine. So a little different from that standpoint. But again, we're trying to like hit as many folks and users as we can. So like that Prestige R2 Pro would be for like a smaller production because it is a narrower print area. Maybe you've only got a little bit of space, not a lot of room. Our new Bobcat, the two-head DTF printer that we've got here, it is a two-head, but a little bit smaller footprint and a really good price point, like $12,000 for just the printer. And then this thing is going to be more for that shop that wants something a little more reliable, a little more consistent, or they're just used to using rolling stuff. They want the backing and stuff like that, or they want to stick in VersaWorks. So different strokes for different folks, right? Hey, Keith is on. For those of you that don't know, Keith is the designer, engineer who designed the BMAX Super Shaker. So Keith, congratulations on working with Roland on this. That's pretty exciting. All right, we got Anchorage, Alaska in the house. Is it even light right now in Anchorage, Alaska? I'm just kidding. I do. One of my bucket list things is to go to Alaska on the shortest day of the year and the longest day of the year. I want to do that at some point. Maryland in the house. Awesome. Yep, Scotland. Perfect. That's what I figured because you were Highlands, so I kind of figured. Oh, we got New York in the house. Excellent. Jasper, Georgia. So I should be getting drivers. I should be having a usable driver this week. And so by the end of the week, early part of next week, we will have stuff profiled for it. Toronto, Canada, let's go. Portugal, Kansas City. You know, I think it's hilarious that the Chiefs are now like the most hated team. They used to be the Dallas Cowboys. Print speeds, 115 10x10 graphics per hour on production mode, which is about 85 to 90 square feet an hour. This is a 30-inch print area. I'm only using 24-inch on it right now. So those speeds might change a little bit, and the speeds might change a little bit when we test it with Digital Factory. So once we have those drivers and I've profiled it, I will share the data for how many square feet per hour, how many 10x10 graphics based on the drivers and profiles we set up in Digital Factory. South Africa, awesome. And we got Denmark. There's the wifey joining the live stream. Chandler AZ. Just starting to get light outside. I love it. Pittsburgh, Mount Carmel. Cute, Tony. Cute. Love it. You just wanted to see if I'd click on that. And I did for a brief moment, and then I took it away because I saw what you were doing. All right. If you guys got more questions, feel free to ask. Oh, give me a moment. Let me grab some scissors, and I will cut the transfers off so you guys can take a look at it. Vacaville. That's a fun word to say. That's like Walla Walla, Washington. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me grab some scissors because apparently I forgot to grab scissors from my office. All right. And let's cut some of these transfers off and take a look. All right. And again, questions, feel free to keep them coming. I'll answer as many as you've got. Oh, and by the way, if you are interested, you do want more information, you want to find out about financing, all those kind of things, again, reminder, it is available today. You can order it today. They are in stock with Roland in California, so we can get those things shipped out to you lickety split. You can either call our number 602-609-5590, or you can reach out to Moses at DTF Superstore, and he can answer your questions. Cut these out real quick. Again, they never look quite as good. Okay, I'm going to do the preface. Right. You guys are getting Jeremy's caveat, okay? Have you ever had a customer that said, send me a picture of it, and then they complained about it because the white balance is different on your phone than it looks like in person? So if you really want to see what samples look like, reach out to Moses, and we will be printing up some samples here in the next day or so that we can send out to you so you can see, feel it, touch it, all that kind of stuff. Here are some beautiful, super vibrant, bright prints. Again, do not go 100% off what you're seeing on your screen, because there is a good chance that my camera's doing some white balance thing, your computer's doing some white balance thing. It's probably screwing something up color-wise. So be careful making judgments like that. But I do want to encourage you, if you want to see what this looks like, feels like, then go ahead and do it. Go ahead and reach out to Moses, and we will get those samples going. And let me cut off another one here. Now, it will obviously look different because it's not pressed on a shirt. But, so, yeah. Wait, camera over there. So, it'll obviously look different. Let's see. Got a couple questions. Let's jump back into some of those questions. Kevin, welcome to the live stream. Everybody in the chat, give a little wave to Kevin. Kevin is one of our techs, and he has been a Roland tech for a long time. So he's very excited about it. He's been really excited about this machine. He's actually pretty upset that I've been the one playing with it, not him. Jerwin is also another one of our techs. So say hey. And then, yes, wife. She is pretty, but not as pretty as you are. So, all right, sorry. I digress. Love you, honey. Roland does have their own powder and film. Costs are going to be a little bit higher, like the ink is. Again, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to use our film in all the testing and stuff like that. So, another thing I love about Roland is when you go to do a maintenance on this screen, it actually shows you pictures of what you're supposed to do next. And they have a lot of videos on maintenance. I've worked with and met with the guys that make those how-to videos. So they have a lot of that stuff. And then we will be making some how-to videos and stuff like that. But yeah, Roland's got a lot of awesome resources for that. Again, that's why we love it. How's the dot grain on lighter colors? Graininess is a lot of times when you're trying to hit colors that are a little outside of the gamut. I've noticed a lot less grain overall. There's still some colors that I'll get a little bit of graininess, but if I tweak them slightly, they will look great. Man, we got the whole crew in today. Moses. Hey, Moses, I gave him your email. Now they're gonna reach out to you. Everyone say hi to Moses. That's Moses. And so if you reach out and want to place an order or have more questions, Moses is your guy. Moses will also help you figure out what machine is the best solution for you. So he will talk to you about kind of your production, what your workflow looks like, how your shop is, and he'll help you decide, is this the right machine for you, or is a different one that we carry right for you? So again, that's why we want to offer more options, just because we know that it's everybody's got a different kind of setup. So you can get the printer all by itself, or you can get it packaged with the dryer shaker. If you are buying from us, obviously we would love to package it with the BMAX Super Shaker. But anybody else can, any Roland dealer can also be selling it with the BMAX Super Shaker. But you can buy it on its own. You can also mix and match it with a different dryer shaker. Like if you have a dryer shaker already, you're okay with, and you just want to get the printer, that's totally an option for you as well. We love a Roland BT12. What's a BT12? See, here's the thing, y'all. I know a little bit about some other printing stuff, but I have gotten so deep in DTF, I don't know what exactly everything else that's out there is doing. But I am currently using our Super Plus powder, but I've tested Super Plus and our V2 with it, so they will all work. Everybody's saying hey to Kevin. Let's see. I want to make sure there's any more questions in here. Let's see. Just making sure. Okay. I think I covered all the questions. If I didn't, please let me know. Yeah, we're excited to finally share it. Like I said, I've been playing with it for a while and really happy. Yes, absolutely. Let's do a quick recap and we'll wrap this thing up because I do like to keep these live streams under an hour because it's just ridiculous when you get past that. So, wrap up on this. Roland DTF printer. It is a 30-inch wide print area. It is 2 print heads. 1 CMYK, 1 white. Sorry, I had a brain fart. I thought I turned off those things. Apparently, I have not. It prints about 90-ish square feet an hour in the production mode, and it's about half of that, a little bit faster than half in the high quality mode. That's in VersaWorks. We don't have the data yet for Digital Factory because we're still working on that driver. 10 by 10 graphics, that equates to about 115 10 by 10 graphics per hour. Again, with the 30-inch wide print area, that might change some of the calculations a little bit, but we don't have a 30-inch wide film right now that we've been testing. I really got to figure out what is going on. It's a crazy, it's some kind of digital celebration. Let's see. Perfect. Nozzle recovery system. No, just clean it daily, pretty much. And it will remind you what to do, but it's just a simple daily cleaning. And when I'm doing the daily cleaning, it's printing like super quick. If I don't daily clean, like when I ignored it over Christmas, it took a little convincing. I had to do a couple of like powerful cleans. I did have to do 1 ink renewal is what they call it, but it's basically if you use a Mamaki, it's like an ink fill. Special maintenance features. It's doing automated white ink circulation and stuff like that. It does some cleanings, but not as many as some of the other auto systems that are out there. And they've purely done that to not waste as much ink. Print area, 30 inches wide. And with the BMAX Super Shaker, you've got that covered for sure. So pass count. So this is where I run into some issues because I am not a power user of VersaWorks. So let's see. Turn this off real quick. And let's jump in here and see what the settings are. So in the quality, and also look, it gives you an estimation of the time it's going to take in those different print modes. And yes, it is accurate. And somebody just opened up in the chat my exact thoughts. Pass count and DPIs are misleading, especially if you're trying to compare it to exactly. So pass counts, resolutions, all those kind of things have more to do with just how the print head's behaving with itself and overlapping itself and those kind of things. So you can get similar qualities with, like, from one machine to another. Like I can get some printers on a 6-pass to look just as good as an 8-pass. So it's not necessarily increasing any resolution, but these are the settings that are in VersaWorks. It'll be interesting to see what it says in Digital Factory when I finally get my hands into like really messing with it. But yeah, so it's saying that it's 600 by 1200 DPI and then 1200 by 1200. But again, those are not necessarily, it's not an apples to apples comparison, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. We did have a question about techs in Northern California. There's Roland techs all over the place. Now, this is a new machine. And we experienced this We experienced this a little bit with Mamaki techs that weren't like our techs. They weren't necessarily trained in how to use DTF like past the printer. A lot of those techs were good on understanding the printer's function, but the DTF function after it, like all the curing and the pressing and kind of the nuanced features of that, they really struggled in that vein. And so I expect a similar thing. Hopefully Roland's going to train their general techs, but we have techs. We have techs. We've got Kevin, Jerwin, Sean. We got a handful of guys that go out in the field and do the installs. And so don't worry about there being techs. There's going to be Roland techs all over the place. Give it a little bit of time, and all those Roland techs will be trained, and there's not going to be an issue. So let's see. More questions came through, so let me make sure I double check it. So FYI, that matching dryer is not a Roland dryer. It is from another company. Roland is not manufacturing their own dryer. It's one of the reasons why they reached out to us to partner with this here. And if I understand correctly, it is Chinese manufactured. So it's very similar probably to multiple other machines that are out there. If you look at the pictures, you can probably figure out who else makes it. So that is what they're selling overseas. I don't know that we'll carry it because one of the reasons we partnered up with BMAC to do something like this was to get better quality and consistency out of it. So not easily. And also I don't know that I have official permission to broadcast those things yet. So if I do, I will share a video on that. We don't know the cost of replacement yet. I mentioned it earlier, and it is a modified print head of theirs. Roland has modified the print head. It looks very similar to an i3200, but it is modified. So they tweaked it and did some things to make it work better in their system. That's what I've been told from the engineering guys at Roland. So this camera that you're watching on is an Insta360 cam. It does do auto tracking. I have it turned off because I do too many hand gestures and I confuse it. But yeah, so it's an Insta360. I think it's called the Insta360 Link cam or something like that. But anyway, that's that one. And then my other one's a pretty nice Canon like studio camera. So we actually shut down the York store. So we don't have a location in New York anymore. If you want to see this printer in action, we are not going to be at ISS with the booth. I will be there. I'm teaching some classes, and I'll be hanging around, chatting with some folks, meeting with some people. But there's going to be multiples of these. If you go to the Roland booth, you will be able to see this in action. Most of the major printing shows will have one of these in action. We also have DTF Expo coming up on April 1st and 2nd here in Mesa, Arizona. Registration's opening soon, like in the next week or so, I believe. So that's another opportunity as well for you to be able to get out and see this printer as well as other ones that are out there as options. All right. I'm not aware of it being a partnership with Brother or anything like that. I think Roland is doing this on their own. Brother's is working on their own DTF option. They've basically taken a DTG printer and created a feed system to go over the platen is kind of how it looks. At least that's what it looked like at Printing United. So you are welcome. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked with it. Obviously, I've had some more time to play with it. I'm going to have even more time to play with it as we load up Digital Factory and get those drivers going. So I appreciate you guys. We are at the hour mark. If you do have more questions, do not hesitate to ask. If you want to see what some of the prints look like pressed, go over to YouTube and check out the video we just posted this morning. We are sharing it there, and it's got some images of it. If you are interested in purchasing this printer or looking at it as an option, reach out to Moses. Either give him a call at that number right there, or you can email him, moses@dtfsuperstore.com. And like I said, we will be running some samples here a little bit later this week, and we'll be able to get those out to you so you guys can get touch it, feel it, press it on a shirt, see how it's looking and working for you. Again, because I can show this all day long on camera. it's never going to do it justice. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you guys so much for being on the live stream today. Had a blast. Some of y'all had some great questions. Some of y'all were trying to poke me and get me to say some stuff that I maybe shouldn't, or post some things that are silly, like where you're watching from. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. 2 weeks. 2 weeks we'll have another live stream. I'll be back in my my cave with the better lighting that makes me look good. If you are going to be at Impressions, I will be there on Thursday teaching. It's been run at the bottom of the whole time, but I will be there on Thursday, maybe Friday. I haven't figured that out yet, but I will definitely be there on Thursday. Let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. Come say hi, and maybe we can go walk around the show and see some cool stuff that's there. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks on Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Have a great Happy New Year. I haven't had to say it yet. I know we're a weekend. It's all good. Whatever. Happy New Year. Have a great 2025. We'll talk soon. Bye.